Good evening and welcome, Nevada Camera Club members and guests, to the Nevada Camera Club Electronic Image Competition for January 2026. Before we get started, we've got a few reminders. Now that we're into the new year, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you get your 2026 dues paid. Also, if you're planning on going to the field trip down at Christmas Tree Pass tomorrow, we'd love to have you. Ed has scoped it out. Ed, did you want to make any comments about your field trip for tomorrow?
No, not really. It's going to be fun. I've got lots of people coming. I'll be sitting at the intersection of Highway 95 and the turnoff with my bright red truck and a big giant flag that says Nevada Camera Club. Should be pretty easy to find me.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'd also like to call your attention to the February issue of Focal Expressions, which you should be getting by the end of next week. In it, you will have entry information for our 2026 annual open print competition. The take-in for this competition will be at our program meeting in March, and those images need to be delivered between 6 o'clock and 6:30 because we've got a really special speaker that evening, Jerry Gihonis. Jerome, do you want to say anything about Jerry being with us on March 13th?
I haven't talked to him anymore about it, so I don't have a lot to offer right at this time, but I know he's got a program together and he's supposed to get us some of that information coming up pretty soon.
Okay, so two big things in March, the annual open print, and you don't have to be a member of Nevada Camera Club to enter that. So if we've got some non-members who are watching our competition this evening, we would love to have you enter as well. Also, those of you who contribute copy to Focal Expressions, your deadline is this coming Tuesday, which is January 27th. As far as our competition staff for this evening, setup assistants came from Stephen Cup, Craig Hicks, Linda Hicks, and Mary Sheets. The announcer this evening is Linda Hicks. Our projectionist is Stephen Cup. Our scorekeeper is Mary Sheets, and our merit recorder is Julie Chadburn. Our judges this evening: in chair 1, we have Ed Stiglitz. In chair 2, Clayton Fox. Chair 3, Janice Phillips. Chair 4, Cindy Wilson. Chair 5, Mike Chapman. Chair 6, nope, Chair 5, Cindy. I skipped Jerome. Go backwards. Chair 4, Jerome Hamilton. Chair 5, Cindy Wilson. Chair 6, Mike Chapman. Chair 7, Ron Frost. They know where they're supposed to be, even though I don't. Our entry statistics for this evening: we have 40 members who entered a total of 110 images in 47 unique categories. Some of the entries came to us out of France, where we have a member now living. We have entries that came from two former members who re-upped their membership recently, and one lives in Washington State and one lives in Utah. So glad to have you ladies back and glad you entered this evening. Those with live mics, please turn off your cell phones. Judges, with your comments, as always, we appreciate if you include a strength as well as a suggestion for improvement. And now, here is your Nevada Camera Club Electronic Image Competition for January 2026. I would like to start with judges 2, 4, and 6, please. Our first category is abstract. And in the abstract category, we will be starting with advanced color, floral. Scores? 989.
I'm one of the nines. I think it's just a wonderful, beautiful, crisp image, and it is an abstract. I'm not really sure exactly what it is. I think I have an idea. Whatever you did, great job. Keep it up.
Image received a 26. Swirling colors. Scores? 989.
I
I gave
like-
this a 9 mainly because of the impact that it had to me immediately. I like all of the swirling and so forth. Suggestion for improvement on my screen, it looks like the bottom is cut off a little bit, but that may not be true on the actual image. Good job.
Image received a 26. Patterns in life and perspective.
Category?
Abstract. Scores? 878.
I like the design and I like this tunnel vision feeling you have with this image because you kind of feel like you're drawn into it into the middle. I think the abstract category, it's not giving me a strong feeling of the abstract. I went a little bit lower also because the windows on the right side, you can kind of see detail and stuff in them, and the windows on the right, it's kind of blown out. Other than that, I like the idea you have here.
Image received a 23. Judges, there are 3 images to review for placement, starting with patterns in light and perspective, going back 1 to swirling colors, and going back 1 to floral. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for floral. Scores? 111. Swirling colors. Scores 222. And that leaves 333 for patterns in light and perspective. So the judges have chosen for first floral, second swirling colors, and third patterns in light and perspective. We're moving on to monochrome abstract. I'd like judges 1, 3, and 4, please, for advanced monochrome diagonals. Scores? 778. Comment?
I like I like the ideas you have here. Um, the angles and stuff are really nice. I think the white part is a little bit too bright, and I was kind of taking into account that there might not be detail in there. It might just be kind of like a white flat surface, but I think it kind of draws you right to the middle, which in this instance, it could be good, it could be bad, obviously by the judge's choices. I do kind of like your outline, your presentation. I think it would have helped a little bit if your line was your corner line was directly in the middle.
Image received a 22 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color abstract, The Curl. Scores? 878.
Well, I like the texture of this image is really interesting. And the colored lines, especially the subtle browns that are just subtly different, I think add a lot of interest and make you stop and pay attention a little bit. Um, I think the improvement would be in the dark brown in the lower left side. It tends to lose focus a little bit in there, and that's a bit distracting. Other than that, it's an interesting image.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Same judges again. We are moving into the category of animals and pets, and we'll be starting with an intermediate image in color, Mussels Out of Water. Scores? 777.
I like your subject matter. Um, I like the variations of the blues and the browns, the colors that are within the muscles. I would have liked to seen you just kind of zoom in and get like a close-up area instead of this whole group, because of the whole group, you've got a lot of out of focus areas that really distract your eyes. So if you would have moved in and just zeroed in on, a little smaller group and keep it sharper, that would be more appealing.
Image received a 21 was the only image in the category. We'll be moving on to advanced color animals and pets, and I would like judges 1, 3, and 5, please. We'll start with baby egrets. Scores? 898.
Sorry, I need to take my background off here.
I think that might help, Cindy.
Yeah.
Comment?
I gave it a high score because I really think the whites and the egrets are beautiful. None of it's blown out, maybe just a little in the neck area, but I think it's really nice. I debate between 8 and 9 because I don't think you needed quite as much space on the left. Could have cropped it in a little bit tighter, but I think you captured a nice image.
Image received a 25. Are you looking at me?
Oops.
And we lost one of our judges. I hope she will be back.
Um, I'm trying to get rid of that background.
Ah,
2722. There we go.
thanks, Cindy.
Sorry.
Scores 787.
Well, this is a really cool looking bird and a really nice job on the bird and the seashore. I think that the reason I didn't give it a higher score was is that I would have liked to have seen the bottom third removed and probably a couple inches off the right as well. There's just way too much other stuff on there. A pair of scissors would have been very helpful to get rid of all that.
Image received a 22. Gray fox. Scores 989.
He did a really beautiful job with this. It's in focus from the nose to the ears, which to get the background blurred, but to get the entire face of the fox in focus, you did an excellent job. Beautiful.
Image received a 26. Robber fly. Scores 999.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful, incredible focus, incredible image, nice diagonal lines, well blurred out backgrounds. If you could have got your model to tilt his head just a little bit more over, maybe it could have been a tad better. But this is about as close to perfect as it gets.
Image received a 27. Elegant Trogon. Scores 899.
That's a beautiful capture of the bird. I mean, being all his wings all spread out like that and having that textured background separating him. I mean, he has beautiful colors. It's very sharp. Nice capture.
Image received a 26. There are 3 images to review for placement, starting with Elegant Trogon, going back 1 to Robber Fly, and going back 1 more to Gray Fox. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Gray Fox. Scores 133. Robber Fly. Scores 211. An Elegant Trogon. 322. So the judges have chosen in first Robber Fly, but you ended up with a tie for second.
Right.
So we need to go back and look at Elegant Trogon and Gray Fox, which you're seeing right now. So judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for the Gray Fox. Scores? 1, 2, 2. So the judges have chosen Elegant Trogon. Thank you very much. We need judges 2, 5, and 7, please, for Master in Animals and Pets color. Beautiful, but venomous. Scores? 998.
The fish, the main subject, it's beautiful. It's crisp, and I did give it a 9, but I really debated because the fish in the background does distract a bit. So if you could have waited till the fish got separated from it, but it's still the main subject itself is gorgeous.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. Our category we are now in is creative, and we have beginner entry in creative. Color drops. Scores? 888.
I like the drops themselves. They're very well captured. I like the red through pink through green. I think the red splotches, or we're going to call them red, are a little too intense.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. We'll keep with these 3 judges again as we move into advanced color creative. San Francisco Water Taxi. Scores? 887.
I think it's a great photo with selective coloring. Good job. The only thing that takes me away is the green tint that's in the water, and is probably something you couldn't have gotten around. But other than that, great photo.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. We'll switch to judges 1, 3, and 7, please, for Master Color Creative, Beach Patrol. Scores? 887.
concept of the image, the way you recreated the structure with the colors. Yeah, I think maybe it was a little too extreme on the recreation. In general, I like the image of the fire rescue, water rescue pickup and the person, the background.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We are to documentary now, and we'll start with advanced color documentary. Wukoki Pueblo. Scores? 889.
You did a really nice job. What I really like about this image is that the light is rather flat, like there's a cloud or something that's covering it, so there's no highlights or anything in there. And for a documentary, that makes this image much, much better to document what we really have here. And I think that that really helped a lot in the documentary category. I think I would have cropped the bush on the far right out, just that one little bush out, just a twitch. But that's a very minor thing. I think that you did a nice job of good focus throughout the entire image, and nice job.
Image received a 25. Another damn image. Scores? 988.
I debated, between an 8 and a 9 and just decided to give an 8 because of the light on those rocks. Maybe you could have cropped that out so that wouldn't have affected your eye to keep going over to that little area. But the dam area and the water, I mean, it's beautiful. The lights and the starburst from all the lights are beautiful. Nice job on the coloring. Everything about it is nice, except for that little light area on the left.
Image received a 25. Judges, there are 2 images to review for placement, starting with another dam image and going back one to Wukoki Pueblo. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Wukoki Pueblo. Scores? 222. So the judges have chosen another dam image. Judges 4, 5, and 6, please. We're going to master color documentary, Lee River Miss. Scores? 889. Comment?
I think this is a great capture. Your weather was working really well with you to have those clouds in the background, good reflections in that water. I'm not sure what this pool is here, but it's great that this pool didn't have a lot of movement like the river does with the boat on it. I think compositionally, it would have been nice if the boat was back a little bit, or if you just cropped the right side off, that puts the boat, more in a PowerPoint. Uh, s- with the boat being right in the middle, it doesn't feel like it works in this image. But if you took a little bit off, or if that boat was back a little bit, I think it'd be nice. For a minute, I wasn't liking the little raft in the front. I think it's probably like a little fisher raft or something, but that kind of points in towards the boat. It kind of leads you in. And then it is cropped a little bit tight with your reflection at the bottom and your mountains at the top. So a little bit more room, a little bit more composition, but it's really nice.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for Master Monochrome documentary, COVID in Las Vegas. Scores 899.
I like the fact that it's the documentary category. It certainly documents it. Focus is great. You can read the words on the mask. The background is also great, good and flat. The only things I would change is there are a couple of hot spots underneath the mask and then also on the fingers just a bit, which could have been toned down.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. We have progressed to nature wildlife. I would like to start with judges 1, 4, and 7, please. We have beginner entries in nature wildlife, starting with birds of Pahranagat. Scores 787.
I'm a little bit high, and I knew I was going to be, or at least I had a good idea. Um, I like the color. I like the warm tones. You get this a lot out there, but I like the feel of it. It's got good emotional effect for me. Um, It'd be nice if the birds were all kind of doing something the same, where I'm meaning if all their heads were down or all their heads were up, that would add a little bit more interest. And then maybe just cutting a little bit off the water in the front would give it a little bit more composition for your rule of thirds.
Image received a 22. Mossy Majesty Rufus Motmot in the Arenal Volcano National Park, Costa Rica. Scores? 999.
Yeah, for a beginner image, this is absolutely spectacular. The detail in the feathers, the detail in the eye. Um, Maybe right behind the head, that light spot right behind the head, you might want to try to darken just a twitch, and you might want to try to darken the beak just a bit on the top. But it's still a 9 image like it is. It's absolutely beautiful.
Image received a 27. Stark Beauty. Scores? 898.
I really like this a lot. I think the snow at the bottom is blown out and I think the sky's blown out, but I think this was done intentionally, just to give you that effect. I really like all the sticks. And then you have the one tree that fell over that's like a leading line and it leads you right back to the middle. So I think this came out really nice.
Image received a 25. Taking a Stroll. Scores? 778.
We have an absolutely beautiful scene. The river, the little trees wriggling in the river water, the trees in the branches, the bear walking up the trail behind you. Um, I guess we could wait until the bear gets a little closer, but probably not. Um, I like the colors. I like the color balance and all that. I, the only problem is the bear's face is out of focus a tad, and that's what marked it down a little bit.
Image received a 22. Judges, you have 4 images to review for placement, starting with Taking a Stroll, going back 1 to Stark Beauty, going back 1 to Mossy Majesty, and that's all the title I'm going to read, and going back 1 to Birds of Pahranagat. You okay, or do you need to see them again?
I'm okay.
Okay, then. A 1, 2, 3, or 4, please, judges, for Birds of Pahranagat. Scores? 433. And Mossy Majesty? Scores? 121. Stark Beauty? Scores? 212. And Taking a Stroll? Scores? 344. So the judges have chosen in first place Mossy Majesty Rufus Motmot, in second place Stark Beauty, and in third place Birds of Pahranagat. Judges 1, 4, and 5, please, for beginner monochrome nature wildlife. On the Edge, bighorn sheep in Palm Springs. Scores? 887.
Did a great job of capturing the action here. I love the shadow. I would have cropped out a little bit of the bottom, and it's just a little hot on its body, and I would have liked to have seen more of the face, but I love the shadow, and you did a good job of capturing the action.
Image received a 23, was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We're moving into intermediate, and we'll start with intermediate color, the College of Southern Nevada Gardens. Jerome, we've lost you. There you are.
I'm trying to come back. I don't know what happened. Everything just kind of crashed. Could you just I didn't get the title and all the particulars.
This is Intermediate Color Nature Wildlife. The
Okay.
title is College of Southern Nevada Gardens.
Okay.
Scores? 777.
We have a beautiful flower with beautiful colors. Um, and the sharp spiny things all around it always makes it look really nice. We've added some of the other buds or what's left of them both. Kind of interesting. I just think we could use a tad more focus in the very center of the center flower and maybe lose some of that light stuff on the top of the image. If you had a diffuser or a sunblock or something that you could have put over this flower before you took this picture, it would have improved it greatly.
Image received 21 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for intermediate monochrome nature wildlife, zebra collision. Scores? 788.
The
You did a-
zebras and the action is absolutely amazing. Great capture. I don't know if monochrome is the best choice for this just because of that grass coming out so bright and so white behind it. You know, and obviously I'm not seeing the color version, so I don't know if it could be better. One more thing is maybe just crop off that little bit of dark spot at the top because we do tend to go up there even though our eyes generally go to the bright stuff. I go to the grass and then I go to that top little section up there, but the zebras look amazing.
Image received a 23, was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 4, and 6, please. We are at advanced color nature wildlife. McWay Falls long exposure, Central Coast, California. Scores? 888.
I think it's a very cool picture with the waterfall, and I like the slower speed, which creates very interesting images and a feeling with the water. Good job.
Image received a 24. Nature's modern art. Scores? 999.
I'll speak easy one. It does look like some kind of a modern art sculpture. The focus is impeccable. The evening or morning, I'm not sure which it is, light is just beautiful. The sky is great. It's a very good image.
Image received a 27. Male goldfinch. Scores? 999.
Well, what can you
Comments?
say? It's another great image. Very, very, very vivid. Everything is in complete focus. Even the little the branch and all the stuff that's on it is crystal clear. Very good image. Good job.
Image received a 27. Making cubs. Scores? 899.
I think the dramatic lighting along with their expression is what has all the emotional value in this image. I like that you gave the little extra bit of room around them. It kind of gives even more to the feeling of the motion or emotion that they have and room to roll around in the hay, so to speak. But I think you got great capture with the lighting, the faces, and the color tones of the lines next to the grass is really nice.
Image received a 26. Gnat size Lasioglossum be moving on stamens. Scores? 999.
I think it's high impact. I like the colors. The focus is excellent. Good job.
Image received a 27. Handsome egret. Scores? 877.
Well, I was a high score, but I was debating going down to a 7. It's a good capture. I think it's a little soft in the mid section of the body of the bird itself. And I think to improve it, either lighten or darken the water behind.
Image received a 22. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, which all received 27s. Going back 1 to gnat size Lasioglossum bee moving on stamens. Go back 2 to male goldfinch. And go back 1 to Nature's Modern Art.
Can't they all just, can't we just all keep them as 27s?
Well, you can keep them all as 27s, but you only give 1 first place. You need to
I
see
guess
them
that's what I
again.
think. Can't they all be first place?
Nope. Would you like to see them again?
I'm good.
Okay, then judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Nature's Modern Art. Scores? 1, 2, 3. Male goldfinch. Scores? 2, 1, 1. There is hope.
Yeah,
And
I think we did it.
gnat size Lasioglossum bee moving on stamens. 3, 3, 2. So the judges have chosen in first place the male goldfinch. In second place, Nature's Modern Art. And in third place, the gnat size bee. And wow, what an impressive category tonight.
Yeah.
Judges 2, 3, and 7, please, for Master Color Nature Wildlife. Puffin with a Fish. Scores? 999.
Beautiful portrait of the puffin. I love how you have him over to the left, give him space on the right. He's very sharp, just has a lot of impact.
Image received a 27. Same judges, please. We have advanced to the people category in intermediate color people, Pike's Market. Scores? 777.
Well, this is the people category, and my eye wants to just go to the sign and all the lights above them, and the people are out of focus. I wish you could have got some little interaction with them, buying something at the market or enjoying a drink or eating at the market, and that would have improved the image.
Image received a 21 and was the only image in this category. Judges 1, 4, and 7, please. For advanced color people, Maryland. Scores? 889.
Going on up to the 9, I think, the face is very sharp. I think, could have been a little further out from the brick wall to make it a little less apparent, but an excellent image of the person.
Image
I
received
want
a
to, Linda,
go
I just
ahead.
want just the posing, the hand and the fingers, it looks so awkward. And Ron's right, the face is amazing. If we just cropped right above the hand so we don't even see that, but other than that, it's like my face is drawn down to that awkward kind of claw grabbing her shirt. So just if you can work with her again and maybe, work with the posing a little bit more, I think this would score a lot higher because beautiful, beautiful model.
Once again, 25. Next image in the same category, soft focus. Scores? 777.
We have a really cute child here with her little bandage on her arm. That it adds to the little child cuteness. Um, I'm not sure that the soft focus is. I mean, if her face was looking more at us, and maybe it would help out a little bit. But I think the biggest problem is the clutter in the background. It because none of it is coherent.
Image received a 21. There are 2 images to review for placement, starting with soft focus and going back 1 to Maryland. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Maryland. Scores? 111. So the judges have chosen Maryland. Excuse me. Okay. We will use judges 3, 4, and 5, please, for master color people. Kona Fun. Scores? 877.
I think for the people category,
I
there's
think just-
just hardly any people and just way too much ocean for me.
Image received a 22. UNLV team entry. Scores? 889. Comment? You're speechless?
I talked about the last one. Someone else's turn.
Well, it meets the category, and I definitely like the person in front carrying the flag, like his look, like his stance. When I'm looking around and I'm seeing everyone else's face, it's just kind of different because the ref's not looking this way. One of the football players at the top is looking out. Kind of would have been neat if if there was a big clap and they were all looking forward, you know. But I mean, it meets the category of the people.
Image received a 25. There are 2 images to review for placement, starting with UNLV team entry and going back 1 to Kona Fun. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Kona Fun. Scores? 222. So the judges have chosen UNLV entry. Judges 2, 3, and 6, please, for master monochrome people. The back of the dress. Scores? 888.
I think it's a cool image. I like the fact that the dress is out of focus in the beginning and then comes into sharp focus with the model looking away. The slant of the clouds and the horizon confuses me a bit.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We're at photojournalism, and we'll be starting with advanced color photojournalism. Wrong turn. Scores? Mike, pull yours down a little bit. Thank you. 778.
Well, it definitely tells a story, and especially from your title. It just doesn't have the impact to give it a higher score. And, you know, the telephone lights are competing with the boat, and the boat's a little bit blown out because it's kind of a harsh sunny day. But it does tell a story.
Image received a 22. Hagen Smith takes flight. Scores 999.
Great capture, great emotion, great physicality. The only critique I would have is maybe crop some of that bottom out, especially the little black line that you can see towards the bottom of the image.
Image received a 27. Judges, there are two images, excuse me, to review for placement, starting with Hagen Smith takes flight and going back 1 to wrong turn. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for wrong turn. Scores. Now, Mike, I need you to move yours up. There we go. Thank you. 2, 2, 2. So the judges have chosen Hagen Smith takes flight. Judges 2, 4, and 5, please, for master color photojournalism. 3 against 1. Scores 8, 8, 9.
Good capture. I'll speak to it. Shouldn't take 3 Air Force guys to get one guy. But the other part of it is if only you had been able to capture the whole body of the player on the right, that would have improved it and maybe given it a higher score.
Image received a 25. Ending the fight.
Oops. I just, hold on. There it is.
Scores 8, 9, 7.
I'm the low score, so I was having the out of focus heads in the foreground kind of took away from the scene. The scene is interesting. It's very harsh light, but it does tell a story. But having that one bright out of focus head right in the middle of the foreground kind of took it down for me. I debated between 7 and 8, but that kind of did it for me.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with ending the fight and going back 1 to 3 against 1. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for 3 against 1. Scores 1, 2, 1. So the judges have chosen 3 against 1. Judges 1, 3, and 7, please, for Master Monochrome Photojournalism, Steeplechase. Scores? 999.
This is a great image. It creates this sea with the men, and your eye just keeps going back and forth, and each person has so much character and interest to look at. It's a great image.
Image received a 27. Little Finland. Scores? 777.
It's
In geography, the foreground and the lightness and the brightness is just blown out, and the sky doesn't help us any. So you could get better sky and maybe reduce the brightness of those foreground images and some of the highlights.
Image received a 21. Judges, there are 2 images to review for placement, starting with Little Finland and going back 1 to Steeplechase. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Steeplechase. Scores? 111. So the judges have chosen Steeplechase. Okay. Judges 1, 2. I left an extra judge in. 5. 1, 2, and 5. For beginning color pictorial, checking the grass on the other side. Scores? 788.
Well, we got some beautiful grass here and a great scene on the nice leading line fence going down there. And I assume the farmer walking around checking the fence line or whatever. Just need the sky is a little blown out and hazy. It's real hard to get that image. I think it would have helped it a lot if we had cut the top of it out. It also would have helped if you could have got the farmer to turn around a little bit more.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for beginning monochrome pictorial, reflecting after the rain. Scores? 888.
This is a really nice image with the reflection, and it's nice to see somebody out taking this picture and looking for it. the clutter in the background doesn't help you any. Um, but the clarity of the reflection and the black and the stark black and the white, you got blacks and you got whites. It's pretty nicely done, actually, even with all the clutter in the background.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. For intermediate color pictorial, I would like judges 1, 2, and 6, please. Starting with Through Broken Stained Glass. Scores? 778. Comment?
I think um, I like the idea of the stained glass and looking through a hole in the glass. That's kind of interesting, but your view out the hole in the glass is shot with in the middle of the day, and there's no shadows or contrast or anything. And I think there's too much of the whatever glass around the hole. I think if we had more hole and less other stuff, it'd be better. And of course, time of day on the rocks would have helped considerably.
Image received a 22. Mount Charleston. Scores? Mike, I can't see yours. 789.
Are you messing with my head, Linda, on the camera?
Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down.
I'll go ahead and comment on this one. I was the high score. I like the fact that we've got three bands of focus here. The trees in the front, the large mountain in the middle, and then the others in the back, each creating a different mood to me, and comment on the nature in the storm. I think it's very well done.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with Mount Charleston and going back 1 through Broken Stained Glass. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Broken Stained Glass. Scores? Up, Mike. 222. The Mount Charleston image received first place. Same judges, please, for intermediate monochrome pictorial. San Francisco through the eyes of Alcatraz. Scores? 889.
Well, I like that this does definitely create a mood and it does create emotion. Absolutely. Um, I, I, I like the scratched, blurry vision of San Francisco. That's all the better you can see, and that increases the emotional impact of the image, I believe.
Image received a 25. Cloud beams. Scores? 989.
Yeah, I really like this image. We have blacks, we have whites. For an intermediate image, this was really good. You weren't tempted to show us all the stuff on the bottom that we didn't need to see. Um, your subject matter is the beams of light, and that's nice. I gave it a 9. I think if I was to improve it a twitch, I would have cropped one twitch more off at the bottom so that the buildings in the bottom right went completely away. But this is a really nice monochrome image.
Image received a 26. There are 2 images to review for placement, starting with cloud beams and going back 1, San Francisco through the eyes of Alcatraz. Judges a 1 or a 2 for San Francisco through the eyes of Alcatraz. Scores? 222. So the judges have chosen cloud beams. Judges 2, 5, and 7 for advanced color pictorial. Shipwreck. Scores? 988.
Yeah, I was the high score. I just like it. I know that some improvements like we spoke earlier would be maybe to crop a little off the bottom and a little off the right-hand side, not have the subject in the middle of the frame. But I liked it.
Image received a 25. Circles above Inyo Mine. Scores? 888.
I
Comment?
love the star trails. They're beautifully done. I would have cropped, I think, just a little bit off the bottom. It's not necessary to the photo. I would have liked to have seen more off to the sides, more of the circles, but it was a beautiful, beautiful capture. I love all the different colors in the different stars for the different temperatures of the stars. Very well done.
Image received a 24. Bay Bridge, San Francisco. Scores? 888.
Which is gorgeous. I just didn't get any real impact from the extra pieces down below. I think they subtracted from the image. They were beautifully photographed.
Image received a 24. Vineyards along the River Rhine. Scores? 989.
I really like the image. I think it's kind of unique that we've got a leading line with the vineyards as they get narrower and narrower and going up towards the top of the hill.
Image received a 26. Douro River at sunset, Porto, Portugal. Scores? 998.
I love how you have the boat there on the lower third and you were able to capture the sun to starburst it right through the mast. Very nice muted colors, but I love all the movement in the sky. Very well done.
Image received a 26. Walker Lake, Alaska. Scores? 888. Comment?
I'll give it a try. It is a pretty picture. I think if I can say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but having the um, horizon, so to speak, in the middle of the picture is a little distracting. I think what we've been saying again, cropping the bottom off a little bit, maybe adding more of the sky would have improved the score for me.
Image received a 24. Gifford Barn, Capitol Reef National Park, Utah. Scores? 889.
Like the capture of the barn and the fencing, having the kind of bluff or whatever in the background and the sky added to highlighting the barn and the fence.
Image received a 25. Pahranagat in the fog. Scores? 887. Comment?
I do like the muted colors of it all. It's a very nice mood. I'm just trying to determine if the horizon is exactly, the shoreline is exactly level. Just looks a little tilted to me, but I love the mood of it. It's very nice.
Image received a 23. Judges, you have 4 images to review for placement. Going back 1 to Gifford Barn, Capitol Reef National Park, Utah. Going back 2 to Douro River at sunset, Porto, Portugal. Going back 1 to vineyards along the Rhine. Going back 3 to Shipwreck. Would you like to see those again?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's the Shipwreck. Forward 3 to vineyards along the Rhine, River Rhine. Forward 1 to Douro River at sunset. Forward 2 to Gifford Barn, Capitol Reef National Park.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Judges, a 1, 2, 3, or 4 for the Gifford Barn. Scores? 4, 2, 3.
Oh, jeez.
Douro River at sunset. Back there. Scores? 2, 1, 4.
Jeez.
Back 1 to vineyards along the River Rhine. Scores? 3, 3, 1. And back to the Shipwreck. Scores? Ron, score? 1, 4, 2.
We were all over the place.
Well, you ended up with a 3-way tie for first. You did a great job. So in the 3-way tie for first, you have Shipwreck, vineyards along the Rhine, and the Douro River at sunset. Okay, so we have eliminated the Gifford Barn. So Douro River at sunset, a 1, 2, or a 3, please, judges. Scores? 2, 1, 3.
Jeez.
Rivers along the Rhine. Scores? 3, 2, 2. There is hope. And Shipwreck. Scores? 1, 3, 1. Okay, so we chose for first Shipwreck. Second is Douro River. And third is vineyards along the Rhine. Okay. Judges 3, 4, and 6, please. 4. Advanced monochrome pictorial by the pool.
Monochrome?
That's where it was entered. Scores? 767.
All the judges, you know, we scored low because you put it in the wrong category, put it in the color, and you place it in monochrome. So it scored low, your scores are low, but you could re-enter it again, you know, next time in a different category.
Image received a 20. The Big Splash. Scores? 777.
The rocks are way too dark, as is the ocean. The wave is cool. It looks good. But I don't think it looks monochrome to me. I see some blues and other colors.
Image received a 21. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with The Big Splash and going back 1 to By the Pool. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for By the Pool. Scores? 221. So the judges have chosen The Big Splash.
Can I say something real quick, Linda?
Sure.
Just because the judges sense a color in both of those images, maybe both these makers, when I do either a judge's critique or something like that, they can join in, kind of watch for that, or we can talk about it at the beginners group because I'll be doing the beginners group in February. Maybe these 2 particular individuals might have misunderstood. There is other competitions I've been involved in that a monochrome look will fit in their monochrome category, but our monochrome is just one color and white. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
But wouldn't this image be monochrome?
If Mike is saying there's blue, then it's going to be blue, black, and white. So it could be blue and white, or it could be black and white, but under our description, it can't have all 3.
Okay. Thank you, Jerome. Same judges, please, for Master Color Pictorial, The Golden Moment. Scores? 999.
Very beautiful image, perfect lighting, the starburst, you know, being not centered and over toward the left, just in the sky above having, you know, its special colors. Very, very beautiful image.
Image received a 27. Along the Autumn Curve. Scores 788.
I think this has a really nice compositional feel with all these curves leading us into the autumn leaves, which is kind of what your title is. I think it's nice and balanced. I like the range of lines that are coming in. I was kind of struck between whether I've liking the train in there or not liking it, but overall I think it's a nice image.
Image received a 23. Judges, there are 2 images to review for placement, starting with along the autumn curve and going back 1 to the golden moment. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for the golden moment. Scores 111. So the judges have chosen the golden moment. Judges 1, 3, and 4, please, for master monochrome pictorial, still on watch. Scores 998.
Yeah, I really like the mood that the socked in sky is giving. The light is on in the lighthouse, and yet you have a lot of detail. You cropped out what doesn't need to be there, and yet you kept a lot of detail in the building.
Image received a 26 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for advanced color portraiture. My eyes are on you. Scores 788.
Well, I like that the treatment of the eyes being lit. I think that's a really neat thing. Um, I think I would like to see a little bit more light on her midsection. Not a lot. You want to still keep the lights lit up, but I marked it down a point mostly because of the background. It's incredibly distracting. Other than that, I like the image a lot.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for advanced monochrome portraiture. Julia. Scores 887.
I like the kind of almost downward lighting because the light's really high on her hair, which is not a normal portraiture lighting, but it kind of works with her kind of crazy pose. I like that you see her legs and her feet. I don't like that you don't see her arms and her hands. So it almost looks, kind of funny in that direction. I think the light's a little bit because it's coming straight down. It's a little bit hot on her head. So I think if you could just tone that down a little bit where it kind of meets her, midsection, I think it'd be a little bit better.
Image received a 23 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color portraiture, Alice May. Scores? 999.
I think this is a beautiful image of this child. I mean, her blue eyes with her blue outfit. I was kind of debating 8 or 9, only because of the catch lights in the eyes. So on this portrait, you could have got rid of all the catch lights except for one, and that would make it an even better portrait.
Image received a 27 was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please, for still life. And we are doing advanced color still life at a Parisian flea market. Scores? 888.
Well, it's certainly an interesting image. Um, my only the difference in the tones of in the upper part of the picture as opposed to the middle and the bottom, I think is a little distracting. If it was all one tone, I might have given it a higher score, but certainly an interesting image.
Image received a 24. Summer harvest. Scores? 877.
I mean, you have a great basket of fruit and vegetables, but this downward looking at it doesn't do anything for me. Yet you got this beautiful wood that the basket is sitting on that you could have taken those vegetables out and placed them on that and created a much more impactful image.
Image received a 22. My math is almost off tonight. Okay, 22. Wine with floral accents. Scores? 988.
Well, I gave it the high score because I really liked it. Everything's appears to be in sharp focus. Good job.
Image received a 25. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with wine with floral accents, going back 1 to summer harvest, and going back 1 to at a Parisian flea market. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3 for at a Parisian flea market. Scores? 2, 3, 1. Summer harvest. Scores? 3, 2, 2. And wine with floral accents. Scores? 1, 1, 3. So the judges have chosen wine with floral accents in first, in second at a Parisian flea market, and summer harvest third. Okay, thank you. Judges 1, 4, and 6 for advanced monochrome still life. Life doesn't get any stiller than this. Scores? 888.
This is kind of a tough one because it's not a great direction of light, but there's a whole lot of interest. You're kind of looking around the different faces and trying to figure out what's going on. It also, in the monochrome, I don't know if you've put like a solarization on there, but it kind of has that effect on some of them, but not on other ones. So again, kind of interesting. I think if you were to cut a little bit off the top, maybe down to that corner guy's eyes and cut the bottom off a little bit right to their noses, that gives you 9 kind of right in the middle. And I think that would have been a little more interesting just to look through those guys and not have to go up or down to the top and bottom ones.
Image received a 24. Hattie pan squash. Scores? 899.
I think this is a very good photograph. Very interesting. I like the dark background and I like the detail in the reflection and the detail in the squash. By way of improvement, maybe just a tad more contrast.
Image received a 26. Judges, there are 2 images to review for placement, starting with Patty Pan Squash and going back 1 to Life Doesn't Get Any Stiller Than This. Judges, a 1 or a 2 for Life Doesn't Get Any Stiller. Scores 2-2-2. So the judges have chosen Patty Pan Squash. Same judges, please, for intermediate color unclassified. The Bridge at Sunrise. Scores 8-9-9.
The colors and the leading lines and the sun, really nice images. I like the shadows and the little holes in the shadows across the bridge. Wish the power lines weren't over there. Not much you can do about it. Well, could have taken them out maybe, but other than that, it's a really nice image.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Judges 3, 4, and 5, please, for advanced color unclassified, greenhouse reflection. Scores 8-8-8.
Very nice reflections. Everything's like so symmetrical top and bottom. The green, of course, is a lot of impact, which you don't always get with greens, but this is really nice. I think the only thing I would have done, especially being in unclassified, I would have cleaned up the water on the bottom a little bit and maybe cropped out just a little bit of that shadow at the bottom so it matched the top. Other than that, really nice.
Image received a 24. Bracket fungus.
Linda, is this intermediate or advanced?
This is advanced.
Thank you.
Scores 7-7-7.
You have a really soft lighting, which is probably the best lighting for all this detail, because if you had any contrast, it would be really hard to see. But I think the overall image is a little bit too bright. Not that anything's, blown out, but I think it's a little bit overexposed overall. The mushroom, I think, is the most of the interest because there's a little bit too much going on the whole image. So I think if you could, zoom more in just on the mushroom, that might help score it a little bit higher.
The image received a 21.
Linda, can you read the chat?
I did, and I responded to it.
Okay.
You're fine. For the necessities. Scores? 888.
The
This is
image
a-
certainly has impact because very good colors, showing this little outhouse in the middle of nowhere. It does have good impact and tells a story.
Image received a 24. Arches of Arliss Amphitheater. Scores? 778.
I'm one of the sevens. I like the tunnel effect. I just don't know if I like the first part where it's white. Maybe if you'd have cropped it where it started, where the yellow started, and just had that part of the tunnel as your image.
Image received a 22. Judges, there are 3 images to review for placement, starting with Arches of Arliss Amphitheater, going back 1 for the necessities, and going back 2 to greenhouse reflections. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for greenhouse reflections. Scores? 111. For the necessities. Scores? 222. So the judges have chosen greenhouse reflections for first, for the necessities second, and Arches of Arliss Amphitheater third. Judges 1, 4, and 7, please, for advanced monochrome unclassified, Cactus Black. Scores? 878.
I like the idea that we're trying to capture here. I'm kind of drawn away to that top square that's dark at the top and the bottom left corner that's bright at the bottom. And I kind of go bounce back and forth to that. I think cropping those out would give me a better vision of what you might be trying to show as the presenter. And then I think it's just a little bit, I like the backlighting, but I think it's a little bit bright.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color unclassified, My Night at the Zoo.
You said same judges?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Title again, please.
I'm sorry,
Title again, please.
title is My Night at the Zoo. Scores? 888.
Yeah, this is an interesting image. When it first came up, I really didn't like it, and then the more I looked at it, the more it grew on me. Um, the lines, those little subtle lines in the concrete that I thought, oh, I don't like those. Now, then when I started looking at it more, I like the leading that it's leading you into the deer, and I like the moon and the clouds and the mood that that puts up there, and the blue. So this image grew on me quite a bit when I'm studying all the little details of it, and you got all the details in that blue tree. It's kind of cool.
Image received a 24. Wall vine. Scores? 788.
I like the contrast between the red leaves and the dead leaves. I couldn't decide if the wall was helping it or working against it, but the color and the impact kind of kept me on the high side. I think it would look better also as maybe a panorama sideways instead of up and down. I think that might give it a little more oomph and visual for the judges.
Image received a 23. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with wall vine and going back 1 to My Night at the Zoo. Judges are 1 or 2, please, for My Night at the Zoo. Scores? 111. So the judges have chosen My Night at the Zoo. Judges 1, 3, and 6, please, for Master Monochrome Unclassified, Regal Doorway. Scores? 888.
Well, I really like the door. I like the color. I like the contrast. I love the interest of it all. Um, I think you did a good job with what you had to work with here. I marked it down just a twitch because I would have liked to have seen the top of the keystone.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. We're down to our final category, but Mr. Ed, you chose such a popular topic that we have lots of entries between beginners, and I put the wrong divider slide in, intermediates, advanced, and master. Same judges, please, that we just had for our beginner category, please. Collecting.
Linda, do we want to give a description of what the club challenge was.
The club challenge was glass.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me.
And this is beginner, Linda?
This is beginner, yes. Scores 888.
I think this is very good. I had a hard time figuring out what to do with glass as a category. But this is certainly a good choice. I like the actual glass itself. It looks to me on my screen very properly exposed, and it's a very interesting composition. A suggestion for improvement might be to crop out on the right a lot of that bright white wall, and then up the contrast just a tad, but good job.
Image received a 24. Liquid light.
We still in beginner?
Yes, sir. Scores 889.
Yeah, this is a really pretty image. I think it's really close to a 9. I gave it an 8. I moved it down just a twitch, but it's really close. I think the black spot in the lower part of the glass, I don't know how it could have gotten moved anywhere, but I think that was a little bit of it. And I think the diagonal corner cutoffs wasn't really particularly happy with either. But it's a really pretty image.
Image received a 25. You have 2 images to review for placement, judges, starting with liquid light and going back 1 to collecting. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for collecting. Scores 112. So the judges have chosen collecting. Okay, judges 1, 2, and 7, please, for intermediate club challenge. Constellation in glass. Scores 887.
I think it's a good image of glass. You can tell that it is glass. This is a challenge, so you could have removed those lines that are right there in the middle of the image, made it a bit more consistent. But good, I like it.
Image received a 23. Martini curved glass. Scores 888.
Yeah, I like this image. I think you did a really good job of keeping the rim on the top of that glass with that really white background. I think I would have given it a 9 if you would have had less notable transition between the table and the background.
Image received a 24. Glass facade. Scores? 787.
Yeah, I was teetering if I was going to go with an 8, but I went with an 8 anyway. I think the being able to see through the glass at what looks like maybe a picture on the wall was a bit distracting. So, but overall, good attempt.
Image received a 22. Judges, there are 3 images to review, starting with glass facade, going back 1 to martini curved glass, and going back 1 to constellation in glass. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3 for constellation in glass. Scores? 2, 1, 2. Martini curved glass. Scores? 1, 2, 1. And that leaves 3, 3, 3 for glass facade. So the judges, have chosen martini curved glass for first, constellation in glass second, and glass facade third. Okay, we're down to advanced. Judges 5, 6, and 7, please. Excuse me. Scottish Cathedral windows. Scores? 889.
It's all very well exposed. I like the fact that everything except for the windows are blacked out, so it just highlights the windows. So, but very good job of getting really nice, even exposure on the windows.
Image received a 25. Chihuly. Scores? 898.
I think this is a very good image. Everything appears to be in excellent focus. The colors are right. About the only thing I would do is on the left at the bottom. It looks like part of the wall shined through. I would think it would be improved if it was just the glass art.
Image
good job.
received, image received a 25. Corn Maiden stained glass. Scores. 788.
I love the colors, and the exposure of the colors is very good. Some bright spots in the whites. I think it could have been a stronger image if we had seen the entire uh, glass or the entire window, because all the edges of the corn are cut off. And I think it could be in a stronger image if we could have seen the entire window.
Image received a 23. Barrio glass creation. Scores. 778. Comment?
Thought about the 7, but I moved it up to the 8 because I really like the flame and the glass and the heat. Again, the left side doesn't really need to be there, but the glass and the heat, the flame work very well.
Image received a 22. 2 glasses. Scores. 999.
I love the creativity of this. The exposure is good. It's very well balanced. It's a very nicely done.
Image received a 27. Glass rooster. Scores. 877. Comment?
It's a nice image. The background helps the glass rooster to stand out. I think it would have been improved if it was a little more in focus on the entire rooster.
Image received a 22. By the glass. Scores? 777.
Yeah, the top of the glass does not look in focus to me, plus some very uneven lighting on it. And I don't think the book or the pumpkin really add to the composition of glass, but the glass itself to me is just out of focus and poor lighting.
Image received a 21. Multifaceted. Scores? 879.
It was a very difficult image to capture the primary blue crystal, and I like the fact that we've kind of got the color scheme, the red, orange, yellow, green coming down in the background.
Image received a 24. Colorful glass. Scores? 999.
I think the glass is beautiful. I think the photograph is well composed, well balanced, well focused. My only suggestion would be if the background was not quite as bright, it might improve it.
Image received a 27. Blown glass lampshade. Scores? 777.
I think it lacks some sharpness. It looks very noisy, and also at the bottom, that should be black. We got some extraneous lights down there that could have been darkened out. I do love the color scheme, but it just lacks the impact of some of the other images we've seen.
Image received a 21. Untitled. Scores? 788.
I like images of skyscrapers. I think this one captures the building nicely as well as the reflections. Sorry, Clayton.
The reflection is what brought me up from the 7 because I see more of the structure than I do the glass. But once I better saw the reflection, that worked for glass.
Image received a 23. Behind the glass. Scores? 798.
For me, it just had too many overly bright areas that washed it out. So that's what had me bring the score down. I really liked what they were trying to do, but just too much of the image was blown out, in my opinion.
Image received a 24. Electrical insulators. Scores? 888. Comment?
They're well exposed, they're in focus. I like it's well balanced. I like the red along the bottom and the blurred background. Very interesting, very good.
Image received a 24. Art in broken glass. Scores? 797. Comment?
I can't seem to be the one doing all the commenting here, but I think it would have been a stronger image. I love the contrast of the black and the white, but I think it would have been a stronger image if the vertical lines had been straight up and down, because especially in advanced, things like that right corner should have been cropped out. And again, the frame should have been straightened up. But I do like the contrast of the black and the white and the gray. That is interesting.
Image received a 23. Shattered. Scores? 888.
It's an interesting piece of glass which has been well captured by the photograph. The lighting is very good and the picture is balanced. And it's an interesting breakage of the glass. I think it's a good job.
Image received a 24. Fire glass. Scores? 779.
9. I like the flame. I like the reflection and the color of the flame and the glass bubbles that are in there. I think it's quite intriguing.
One of the sevens want to speak to it?
For
I'll
me,
speak.
okay, go ahead.
It doesn't scream glass to me. I can see the flames. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But it's an interesting image.
Image received a 23. Stained glass window in San Trofim Cloister. Scores? 888.
I think I like the fact that they use the walls as kind of a leading line to bring your eyes into the window.
The image received a 24. Judges, you started with 17 images. You got it down to 4. Not
Woohoo!
bad. Stephen, if you will go back, please. 8 to colorful glass. Then go back 4 to 2 glasses. Go back 3 to Chihuly. And go back 1 to Scottish Cathedral windows.
Okay,
Would it be helpful to see them again, or are you all okay?
I'm good.
Okay. Then judges, a 1, 2, 3, or 4, please, for Scottish Cathedral windows. Scores? 433. Chihuly. Scores? 344. 2 glasses. Scores? 212. And colorful glass. Scores 121. So you chose for first place colorful glass. Second place, 2 glasses. Third place is Scottish Cathedral windows. Thank you. Good job. Okay, judges 1, 2, and 3 for the wrap up with the Master Club Challenge, The Art of Making Glass. Scores 888.
Well, I like that we didn't we got in close, so that the glass became the main subject of the image. Maybe I want to be a little closer, but I think if we had got maybe cut off a little bit of the left so that we only had the one person, I don't think we could have got much closer than that and still shown what was going on. I like that the glass itself is very clear, very clean, and very much in focus.
Image received a 24. Genesis. Scores? 788.
I think it was challenging for whoever took the picture to actually get this picture. It's certainly glass. I think there's a little too much. Could have cropped it in on both sides, left and right. I think, to have a better impact.
Image received a 23. Antique bottles. Scores? 889.
I gave it the high score. I like this group of bottles. They're all different sizes, different shapes, different colors. Has a lot of interest, a lot of different heights. The background, I was almost going to go to 8 because on the left, it's almost like a 7 there. That could have been cloned out. And even on the right, like a brownish edge, that could have been cloned out. Made it really a perfect image, but it has a ton of interest for me.
Image received a 25. Stained glass. Scores? 888.
Yeah, I think the image is beautiful. You got wonderful colors and it's bright and it's in focus. It's just that you were down on the ground and looking up and it gave it that tilted image that hurt the image a bit.
Image received a 24. The beauty of glass. Scores? 878.
I gave the 7, of course. I think the background is a little too much in the shadow. Like it could have been brightened up just a bit, and then at the top it's kind of dark.
The image received a 23. Giant window, Reed Airport. Scores? 887.
Yeah, I really like the right two-thirds of this image. The sunset, the outside of the windows, the big glass windows. It's absolutely beautiful. If we could have taken a step and turned our camera to the left and turned our camera a little bit, so all we had was that and not that, whatever that the left side of the image is not in the picture, that would have helped and would have moved my score up another point.
Image received a 23. Point of impact. Scores? 888.
The glass creates this really unique pattern, so that's what makes the image really nice. It's almost hard to tell it's glass until I see the edge in the middle bottom part. I would have liked to seen you burn just the hot spot in the middle and the hot spot up toward the top a little bit more.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 4 images to review for placement, starting with point of impact, going back 3 to stained glass, going back 1 to antique bottles, and going back 1 to the art, or 2 rather, to the art of making glass. Not this one, the one before it, yeah. So the art of making glass, antique bottles, stained glass, and point of impact. You okay, or you want to see them again?
I'm good.
I got it.
Okay, so we'll start with the art of making glass. Judges, a 1, 2, 3, or 4, please. Scores? 2, 1, 2. Antique bottles. Scores? 1, 2, 1. Stained glass. Scores? 4, 4, 4. And point of impact. Scores? 3, 3, 3. So the judges have chosen in first, antique bottles, in second, the art of making glass, and in third, point of impact. Thank you, judges. I know it was a long evening this evening. Thank you, competition staff. The results of the competition will be included in the February issue of Focal Expressions. The competition video will also be available on YouTube. And those of you going to Christmas Tree Pass tomorrow, have a great time and a safe time. We next meet on February 13th. Aren't we lucky? Friday the 13th. So we'll see you all